At first glance, the Amazfit Balance 3 and the Amazfit Balance Ultra look almost identical in size. However, there are still some differences in the case design, thickness, straps, and overall wearing comfort. That's exactly what this video is about. This is not a full feature comparison, but a pure size comparison. We will go through the key specifications, place both watches directly next to each other, compare them on my 19cm wrists, and check whether either model can display more text on the screen. The stainless steel version of the Amazfit Balance 3 costs €370, while the titanium version costs around $450. The Balance Ultra is only available as a titanium model and costs $600. The Balance 3 measures 51.4 by 51.4 millimeters, including the heart rate sensor. It is 14.6 millimeters thick or 12.5 millimeters without it. Without the strap, the stainless steel version weighs 62 grams, while the titanium model weighs 55. The Balance Ultra measures 51.8 by 51.8 millimeters, making it only 0.4 millimeters larger. Including the sensor, it is 15.5 millimeters thick or 13.4 millimeters without it. It weighs 57 grams without a strap. The two models are therefore almost identical in diameter, but the Ultra is 0.9 millimeters thicker in both measurements. Both watches offer 10 ATM water resistance, sapphire crystal glass, 64 gigs of storage, and more than 180 sport modes. The Balance 3 has 4 buttons, while the Balance Ultra has 5. The Balance 3 uses a 658 mAh battery, while the Ultra has a larger 780 mAh battery. From the front, the two watches look almost the same size. This matches the dimensions, as the difference between 51.4 and 51.8 millimeters is very small. My own lock-to-lock measurement is also approximately 49 millimeters on both watches. This means that both cases extend almost the same distance across the wrist. The Balance Ultra still looks slightly larger. This is less about the diameter and more about the substantial case design. In direct comparison, the Balance 3 looks slightly more open and less bulky. With its pronounced case elements and fifth button, the Ultra looks more like a large outdoor watch. The difference is clearer from the side. The Balance Ultra is visibly thicker. A difference of 0.9 millimeters may not sound like much, but it is easy to see when both watches are placed next to each other. The Ultra sits higher and looks more substantial. The Balance 3 is not a thin smartwatch either, but it appears slimmer in direct comparison. Both watches also stand slightly above the wrist because of the heart rate sensor, although this is more noticeable on the Ultra. Both watches use a 22mm wide strap. The straps are roughly the same length and fit wrists from 140 to 210 millimeters. However, there are clear differences in wearing comfort. The silicone strap on the Balance 3 is much softer and more flexible. It is easier to wrap around the wrist and adapts better to the shape of the arm. Its heavily perforated design also provides better ventilation. On my Balance Ultra, the black synthetic leather and silicone strap is fitted. It looks premium, but it is also noticeably stiffer. As a result, it does not adapt as easily to the wrist and makes the watch feel even more substantial. The Ultra also includes a second silicone strap. This may improve comfort, but the larger and thicker case naturally remains the same. Now I have about 19cm wrists. At this size, I can wear both watches without the cases extending significantly beyond the sides of my wrist. With the lock-to-lock distance of around 49 millimeters, both still sit fully on the arm. From the top, the difference is surprisingly small. Both watches occupy almost the same amount of space and both clearly look large. The Balance 3 sits slightly more natural because of its softer strap. The band wraps more closely around the arm, making the watch look a little bit more balanced despite its size. The Balance Ultra feels more prominent because of its thicker case and stiffer straps. From an angle, and especially from the side, you can clearly see that it sits higher above the wrist. Anyone looking for a very rugged and eye-catching watch may prefer this. However, neither model is a truly compact option. Because of their size and thickness, I find both watches somewhat uncomfortable for sleeping. You can use them for sleep tracking, but you can clearly feel them during the night. Both models are also very noticeable during exercises. With fast arm movements or strength training, you never forget that you're wearing actually a large watch. The Balance 3 is slightly more comfortable because of its softer strap, but it is not exactly discreet either. Now, both watches feature a 1.5-inch AMOLED display with a resolution of 480 by 480 pixels and a peak brightness of up to 3000 nits. For this comparison, I selected the same font size on both watches. In practice, there is no difference in the amount of information displayed. The watch faces use the same layouts and show the same elements at the same size. The same applies to health sections such as heart rate, blood oxygen, stress, and pi. Neither watch displays more information. Notifications previews are also identical, both show the same number of lines and roughly the same number of words. When opening a full message, the same amount of text fits on the screen. The same is true in the system settings. Menu items, spacing, text size, and visible lines are identical. The slightly different case size therefore does not change the usable screen area. The Balance Ultra looks more substantial from the outside, but it offers no advantage for text, messages, or menus. Now the Balance 3 lasts up to 21 days with typical use, up to 10 days with intensive use, and up to 7 days with the always on display enabled. In the most accurate GPS mode, it lasts up to 41 hours, while the GPS power saving mode extends this to up to 84 hours. The Balance Ultra lasts up to 30 days with typical use, up to 15 days with intensive use, and up to 10 days with the always on display enabled. In the most accurate GPS mode, it lasts up to 50, while the GPS power saving mode reaches up to 97 hours. The additional thickness therefore comes with a larger battery and longer battery life. Overall, the Balance 3 and Balance Ultra are surprisingly similar in terms of the amount of space they occupy on the wrist. Their diameter differs by only 0.4 millimeters, and both measure approximately 49 millimeters from lock to lock. From the front, they therefore look almost identical in size. The main difference becomes visible from the side and in the wearing experience. The Balance Ultra is clearly thicker, more angular, and more prominent on the wrist. The Balance 3 is also very large, but its softer sitting and strap makes it slightly more comfortable. There is no difference in display size or the amount of visible text. Both models fit my 19cm wrist well. Anyone looking for a large and eye-catching outdoor watch will get the more substantial appearance with the Balance Ultra. Those who prefer slightly better wearing comfort while still getting a very large display may be better off with the Balance 3.